This afternoon it gives me great pleasure to invite Zoe and Phoebe to begin our proceedings.
We acknowledge the traditional custodians of this land and their care of it for thousands of years. Open to the Spirit who has ever been present here, we resolve to appreciate its beauty, to be wise stewards of its resources, and to honour the connection the traditional custodians, the Cumbermary from the Ugamba Nation, have with this land.
Please join with me in saying the school prayer. Almighty God, from whom comes every good and perfect gift, send down your blessings, we pray, upon this school. Teach us to live together in love and joy and peace. In our study, give us the spirit of understanding and perseverance. In our games, true sportsmanship. In our prayers, courage and rectitude. Let the spirit of devotion and loyalty bind us all closely together, so that we may labour not only for our own advantage, but also for the common good. Through him who loved us and gave himself for us, Jesus Christ our Lord. Amen.
Well, good afternoon. This is a very special assembly. This is our very first Old Girls Assembly, or Alumni Assembly, if you want to call it. Yeah, that's a round of applause. Our old girls are saying they like the name Alumni. That's nice. Now, we also have Year 6 here, so I want to welcome Year 6. Welcome. But I want to tell you, we have some very special guests. We have some very special guests on the stage. I want to welcome Georgia Frizzell, the president of our Old Girls Association, and who looks after our alumni and all the organisation for that. But we also have a number of alumni with her, Thea Jens Cochran, Kate Dixon, Lorraine Norris, and we have, because very soon she will be an old girl, Sienna Gardner as well, who is representing the current Year 12, who will be very quickly alumni. So it's very important that we connect with our Old Girls Network. And you will be interested to hear that just this morning, an email flashed up on my screen, and it was from a media company that send articles all the time, and the leading articles said this: why every woman should be part of an Old Girls Network. That was this morning I got that email. And I smiled and I thought, great day to get that. The article went on to argue that because our world has been so heavily weighted towards the work and achievement of men, women need to connect more. And we need to be strategically connecting and networking with one another. And it argues that girls need good role models. We have them here today. Girls need good encouragement, not just in their careers, but in their wider lives, and lots of wisdom. And I want to welcome all the old girls who are sitting down the front who've joined us from whatever year they've come. I think I'm right to say that I think the youngest alumni we have here today is Alex Elliott, who was here last year. And I think perhaps the elder stateswoman of our group might be Marion Michael, who would celebrate her 60-year school reunion this year. Welcome. We have recently completed a survey here at St Hilda's, just getting feedback from girls, parents, staff, and our alumni. And I had an email from one of our alumni who said, apologised, she couldn't fill in the survey, but I want to read you her email. Her name's Heather. Now, it wasn't directed to me because the survey is being done by a company, so it said, Dear Sir, my years at St Hilda's were well before your survey, but I still keep in touch with many friends. The war was on. So this is a woman who came to St Hilda's during World War II. So some of the teaching was inadequate, but we were lucky to be alive. Having lost my brother over Germany, and he was a violinist of worth and started engineering at Queensland Uni. I was a very reliable head girl and took out the Butcher's Cup. Now I'm on a mission to find out what the Butcher's Cup was, but Heather won it Do any of our alumni know the Butcher's Cup? No? Marion? No? Ah. She said, we were more fortunate than a lot of people. I am 87 years old, and I keep my reliable ways. I did not reply as I'm moving on the 7th, and I do everything except the heavy furniture. I am busy, and she's written busy in all capital letters. Here is a woman who has shown that she is as strong as men, a good, reliable St Hilda's woman, and today we are going to celebrate how we can connect with the wisdom and the networking strength of our old girls and our alumni. So can we thank all the women who are here today, and we will start the assembly. Thank you.
Welcome everyone. So as it's our Old Girls Assembly, we thought it would be appropriate to take a little look back in time to our old uniforms. So let's get started. The 1928 white church frocks were worn with a white veil as seen by Zoe and Zoe, just in the stock. Yes, very nice. The 1932 to 1950 white speech day dress worn with a tie, modelled by Claire Watson. The one-piece play suit as worn in 1938 for all your outdoor adventures seen on Sammy Jack. In 1940, the Borders Navy winter suit was introduced with a white shirt and tie, and Isabel Brealey looks so smart. In the turn of the century, rowers, yes, the rowers, wore bloomers, white shirt, tie and blazer with black ties. It was later updated, worn with the sailor collar, white shirt and bloomers, as worn by our 2017 rowing co-captain. The Navy Serge tunic. From 1920 to 1972, with white shirt, Panama and hat. Sal, if you just want to stay there. Now, when Miss Viddock became principal in 1924, this uniform became standardised. This tunic was typical for most Australian girls at the time. However, this was phased out because it was just not appropriate for our tropical weather. Thank you, Sal. The Borders Going Out suit. Oh, isn't this just a fashion treat and a half? Maeve, Emily and Gilly look so cute in this. Oh, ready for a summer's day. My personal favourite, swimming in 1926. The red and white costume covered the neck to the knee. It was followed by a nylon suit, a fantastic new fabric in 1960. Yes, ladies, 1960. And it also included the white life-saving emblem. Rory Johnston looks like she's ready for a dip. My personal favourite as well, the blazers and red berets are the one that today's panel will relate to most. And also, I think I'm going to put out a survey for all those girls that would like the berets to come back. Yes, I know. Anyway, so I'd just like to let you girls know our current uniform was designed by Miss Gronowski in 1972 as the box-pleated dress which Sally wore was phased out. Our uniform is now 45 years old. Yet, sometimes, most of the time, we can't seem to get it right, girls. Now, tomorrow at gate duty, I will see everyone with a nice ironed uniform, a ribbon in your hair, and a winter hat on your head. Thanks, girls. Yeah, one last walk around. Give us a bow.
Thank you, girls. What a blast from the past that was. I'm quite impressed by some of the uniforms they had there. So hopefully you've all noticed that we do
do have some very special guests with us today, and we are lucky enough to have some St Hilda's old girls joining us in this assembly. So today we have panellists of both past and current students. So Kate Dixon here graduated from St Hilda's in 1999 after having attended the school for 12 years. At university, Kate attained a Bachelor of Business and Arts, majoring in Media, Marketing and Communications. Post-university, Kate travelled to London and worked and lived there for 3.5 years, working in banks, Heathrow Airport and restaurant groups. Later, having returned to Australia, Kate worked for Westfield in Sydney, Tourism Queensland, Brisbane Airport, and is now the Senior Marketing Manager at Pacific Fair. An incredible background of experience, I can imagine.
Lorraine Norris became a St Hilda's Old Girl in 2014. A well-known and respected musical talent within the school, Lorraine was a member of the Senior String Ensemble, Big Band, Rhythm and Blues Band, Concert Band and String Quartet. As a junior school girl, Lorraine joined the Junior String Ensemble and Junior Concert Band and didn't leave until she graduated. A very active musician in the wider community also, Lorraine played with Korean Orchestra in Brisbane for some time. In 2014, Lorraine was music captain and cultural arts prefect and won both the Friends of Music Award for Most Outstanding Musician and the Grammy Award for Generosity, Reliability, Attitude, Musicianship, Intelligence and Excellence in Grade 12 at the end of the year. Sienna Gardner and Eva Deventia are yet to be St Hilda's Old Girls. However, they can see the light at the end of the tunnel. Sienna and Eva, as you all know, are our Carrigaroo and Melaleuca house captains and the epitome of what we think the ultimate St Hilda's girl is: kind, graceful and compassionate. We have Sienna and Eva up here today to show that while some things within our school have changed a lot over time, our root values and ideals remain the same.
St Hilda's alumni Thea Jeans Cochrane, if you could stand up please, is the founding director of entertainment company IEC, responsible for originating and leading global projects in the exhibition, ceremony and entertainment industries. In 2014, Thea was the producer of Glasgow's Commonwealth Games flag handover ceremony, which starred Jessica Malboy and Mick Fanning. The latest milestones for Thea have been with the IEC team, producing and promoting the Rolling Stones' one-off record-breaking concert at South Australia's Adelaide Oval in 2015. More recently, Thea has produced the Rolling Stones global exhibition presented in London and New York. And earlier this year, Thea was the recipient of the International Women's Day Entrepreneurial Leadership Award in recognition of her creative leadership talent. Can we please make all of our guests feel welcome today?
Alright, so while we're lucky enough to have all these lovely ladies with us here today, we thought we would take this opportunity to ask them some questions that you girls might all be interested in knowing. So Lorraine, we might start it off with you. In what ways has going to St Hilda's and now being St Hilda's alumni shaped who you are today?
Well, I definitely think that being a St Hilda's girl, especially with my mother also being a St Hilda's girl, really shaped me because it just proves that women can do anything. I actually am studying agribusiness in Gatton, and I can tell you that there's less than 50% of women going into the agricultural community as well, and also music as well. So if you're interested in it, just go for it. Nobody can tell you what you can and can't do.
We might move on to our current student, Eva. So could you tell us what one of your favourite memories or experiences has been here at St Hilda's?
That's actually quite tough to choose. I've been here since prep, so been here for a while. But I think that especially most recently, the opportunity to go on World Challenge at the end of Year 10 was something that I really, really valued, especially as a part of the school. Being able to come with a group of girls in my grade and the year above, as well as a couple of teachers, and do something in a country so far away that we never kind of thought we'd dream of travelling to and take what we learn as St Hilda's girls about not for ourselves alone and doing things for others, and then going and helping and working over there was really, really cool. Yeah.
So Kate, we've heard you have a very bubbly personality, so we thought this question might be a good one for you. What, if you remember, was the scariest moment of your time here at St Hilda's? Did you ever get in big trouble for anything? Is there anything that you still laugh about today?
I'm trying to figure out if I ever got in big trouble. I had 3 sisters here and my mother as a teacher, which sometimes makes it hard to misbehave because they pretty much know you right away. So what was most scary probably was leaving school. I think you leave structure and you leave your best mates at the time. So for me, the thought of leaving everyone was probably the most scariest. In terms of getting into trouble, I'm sure we got into trouble every single day. I was actually quite shy at times too, so I think I would take the heat for other friends that were a little bit more confident and outgoing, but that's fine as well. So yeah, I don't know. I was trying to figure out how much trouble I got into, and I think I was probably too scared to get into trouble. But yeah, the scariest was certainly leaving, but it's not scary. But at the time, it felt like the whole world was about to change.
Did anyone else get in big trouble ever before?
Why are you passing this to me? Well, first of all, everything was scary when I went through St Hilda's, to be honest, because it was a very different school and it's changed a great deal, which is obviously really pleasing to see. So I was probably always in trouble for being too outspoken, because it was sort of, we came through the Miss Reeves reign, and that was kind of don't speak until you're spoken to sort of, which was typical of all of the schools back then. It wasn't sort of, St Hilda's was not the sort of exception to that. It was just the sign of the times, really. So, big trouble. I was a little bit similar to Kate. I didn't like to sort of get in trouble, but there was certainly, a few bananas, not by me, a few bananas shoved into teachers' cars. I did hear about sort of little things like that, and there were quite a few, I don't know if it's common now, but quite a few border expulsions back in my sort of era, just from girls. No, it's not common, but for sneaking out. So, but I'm sure again, they were probably only allowed out once a month or something like that. And I had to wear that uniform that's from I saw it. It was one of the arcade ones, yeah, that to go out. So probably that's my response.
Yeah, okay. Would you say that there was anything that was frowned upon when you were at school that's now completely acceptable today?
Probably just being outspoken, to be honest, which, it's fantastic to see, not just at St Hilda's but other schools as well, but particularly for women and young girls, being able to develop their confidence by being outspoken and being confident enough to share their ideas, because I think that was something that wasn't encouraged. And when I got to, again, not just because of being at St Hilda's, it was just a sign of how the schooling was done back then. It was disrespectful to question a teacher, whereas now, it's more of a workshop type of environment. We're encouraged to speak up and share those ideas and be unconventional, and that's really encouraged. I think that's a fantastic thing to see.
So Lorraine, this next one's for you, a relatively new old girl. How do you think that being an old girl of St Hilda's has benefited you in the recent years?
I would have to say it's all about the morals though that you get from school. I'm also trying to teach my father and also all the people that I work with that it's okay for women to be assertive as long as you don't call them bossy as well. But definitely, again, with the morals, you've got to stick to your morals and stick to your guns, and essentially that's what St Hilda's taught me to do, and that's how it shaped who I am today.
Okay, now on to Sienna. You've been waiting patiently. What do you think your most valuable lesson has been so far at St Hilda's?
I came to St Hilda's in 2014, so I was in grade 9, and it was a complete and utter culture shock to me. It's so different to my previous school. And I think that probably the most enduring lesson and the most valuable one that I've had so far is that never let an experience be just something you do. Going to the carnival, coming to school, doing that assignment, it's not just about crossing the finish line, ticking it off a list. It's something that you can take a lesson from, or
add that to your memory jar. I don't know, like I just feel like that's something that's really fostered in St. Hilda's that I've always really loved while I've been here.
So Kate, we have a lot of our grade 12s, or all of them really, going through term 3 right now, which is, you know, the big scary term for us. Is there anything that you stressed about during school that you haven't really thought about since, that seemed like such a big deal at the time and now seems so insignificant you wouldn't even think twice about it?
I was trying to figure out this one. I think maybe it was gossip. I think it's sometimes at school you have a bit of time to talk, and as girls we all love talking. And then when I left school, there just wasn't enough time to sit there and to talk about other people or to talk about things going on around you. So when I look back at it now, potentially gossip and or conversation was something that was always on at school, and maybe when you leave school, it's either not as significant or you've just got other things going on that you're working through and or having fun doing. So it's probably something that at the time it was, you know, the biggest deal in the world, but really it's just not. And there's so much more to where you go to next, I guess.
Yeah. So this is like an open question to anyone. So in the audience we have everyone who will be old girls within about 6 years. Can you shed some light on what it was like transitioning from being a student and then to alumni? Was the transition hard? Did you struggle maintaining contact with your friends? If you could just speak a bit about that.
Well, I'm from, of course, the younger generation, and Facebook is the way to go. I mean, I keep in contact with all of my friends through Facebook. I've learnt about lots of my friends' lives. We've got a few girls from my year who are doing circus things, and I've got a few girls who have gone overseas and they're doing things overseas, and it's always lovely to hear from them when they do post on Facebook.
From a slightly older generation. So yes, it was a challenge for us to keep in touch way back in the dark ages, because there was no social media, computers were just sort of coming online. So it was definitely a challenge to sort of maintain that, you know, that community. And for me in particular, I moved to Perth and did my undergraduate studies at UWA. So I was like, you know, would pen out a letter and miss my friends and greatly, but we keep in touch that way. And 5 days to take across the country, and you know, they write you back sort of 2 weeks later. So so that was definitely you know, a challenge, but I think it's fantastic. You know, you have got all the tools now to keep in touch. And again, a totally different time. It's our 30-year reunion this year, so that's how long it's been since I've been at the school. So those, you know, you've got a much greater opportunity to keep in touch and to use each other's connections and voices and sharing ideas. And when you do transition into that out-of-school environment, you've got a great support network. So don't forget about each other. I know it's exciting to get out there and want to sort of get on with your life, but definitely draw on each other and stick together, because you're powerful as one voice.
And I guess the last question for today, anyone can answer this one as well. If you were to give if there was one piece of advice that you wish you'd been given while you were sitting in an assembly like this at St. Hilda's, what would that be?
That's a hard one. I started with enjoy school. When you leave school, you don't have access to everyone, and you don't have sport every morning or music lessons, and you don't have the fun. When you leave school, you have to make a bit more of an effort to do those things. So, you know, if you were saying earlier, just enjoy those carnival moments and everything with your friends, because it's really a time you can't go back to, but you will always love. So I would just enjoy school and enjoy the moments with your friends.
I'd say look after yourself. For many of you, you'll move out to university, you'll I moved out to Gatton away from my parents, and it was really hard, especially because I hadn't been taught how to look after myself, both physically and mentally, and so that's what I really struggled with in my first year of uni, but I wouldn't change anything for the world.
That's actually great advice, because my stepdaughter did that transition. She's now 23, and you know, it's a difficult transition, and now looking back, you know, she realises how important it is to, you know, to have that discipline to take care of yourself, like, you know, mentally and obviously in a physical sense, and to make sure that you're happy. So So that's excellent advice. Advice that we would have been given, that was the question as we were transitioning from school. I think just not to be afraid and to remember that you can always ask for help from somebody. So you don't have to have all the answers. Nobody expects you to, and you don't have all the answers when you're 80, 90 years of age either. So don't pressure yourself to have all the answers. You can change your mind if you pick a course and you think, oh, this is not the right one for me. It's not the end of the world by any stretch. You're all learning building blocks in your life. So don't be afraid, just get out there and have fun.
Great, thank you. Eva and Sienna, even though you're still at school, would you have any advice to give to the students here today?
I think especially now being in year 12, I think it's just mostly don't sweat the small stuff. I mean, that one assessment week 2, grade 7 is not going to define your life. I mean, you get to this point now and it kind of seems like the be all and end all of everything, but obviously we're not in that position yet where we are old girls. We can look back and be like, oh, no one will care. Like, no one cares about that now, but like, it's especially important for everyone here today to kind of get that perspective that what you do now, I don't think is going to define you, and yeah, not to work yourself up too much, I think, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like that, what Eva's saying there is that whole perspective thing. So I guess, like, don't place too much value on individual aspects of your life or individual tasks that you're doing. But I like to think of it as Ali, her motto for this year is see the bigger picture. And so I feel like, especially in year 12, things kind of get compartmentalised. So we've just got our OP predictions, and it's a report card, and it's just all of these facts and figures and numbers, and it's really easy to get drawn into the kind of idea that is who you are. Whereas I think it's important to see that it's something that gets you somewhere to continue to develop who you are. Like, it's not the whole entire part of you.
I think that's all we have time for today, but thank you very much to our guests and current students who've just shown us some insight on what it was like to go to school when they were here. So we've just got a small token of appreciation for each of them as well. So can we give them a round of applause, please?
And I think now we have a video from Tilly Robinson, and just enjoy that one now.
Hi everyone, my name's Tilly. I'm a 2016 graduate from St Hilda's and was the recipient of the Old Girls Association bursary. So firstly, I'd just like to start this by saying thank you to the Old Girls Association for that bursary. It's been really helpful and I really appreciate it. So today, Dr. Julie Wilson-Reynolds has asked me to talk about what St Hilda's meant to me. And I thought the best way to answer this question would be through the lessons St Hilda's taught me, as that's really what I'm going to carry with me for the rest of my life. So there were 3 main lessons. The first one being to get involved in everything, always give everything a shot and grasp every opportunity as they come, because you never know what opportunity may lead on to bigger and better things, and there's always a life lesson to be learned through every opportunity that you seize. Luckily, we're so fortunate that St Hilda's does offer us so many valuable opportunities. The second lesson St Hilda's taught me was that nothing's the be-all and end-all. So something may seem so big one day, but when you put things into perspective in the future, you can really see the situation as it was. And so that's always important to remember, to never stress the big or the little things, because there's always a way around everything. There's a solution to every problem, and you've always got help there. And the third lesson that St Hilda's taught me, which is my favourite, is to always be real and to be yourself. There's no one like you. You're an individual. You're unique. You can boast your achievements and your happiness, obviously modestly. And sometimes you're allowed to be sad and you're allowed to have a down day. But just remember that you're yourself, and to never forget that and never lose sight truly of who you are, because ultimately you should be your #1 fan, and I think that's really important. So I'm very thankful to St Hilda's for teaching me these life lessons, because ultimately I'm going to carry them with me for the rest of my life. So I hope you've had a good Old Girls Association Assembly. Thank you for giving me this opportunity to speak, and I hope to see you all in the near future. Thank you.
Good afternoon, staff, students, distinguished guests, and St Hilda's Old Girls. Thank you for being here today for this special occasion. The main goal of being part of the St Hilda's alumni is to connect with each other, with the school, and with current students. We are lucky to be part of such a special group of men and women, and these connections will prove to be so important at some point in your life. Today, we are honouring the connection between our alumni and the current students through the presentation of a special gift. So on behalf of all of the OGA members, it is my absolute pleasure to present the students and staff of St Hilda's School with this gift. It is our hope that you will enjoy this gift and make many great memories with it, so thank you for being part of our community.
Georgia, on behalf of all the girls, all the staff, all the community members who will enjoy the beautiful sounds of this wonderful piano, we want to thank the Old Girls Association very, very much. What a wonderful gift for the school. Can we thank the Old Girls? Now, in a moment, we're going to have some musical presentations using our brand new gift. Can I get you 4 girls to move your chairs out of the way? Because I believe there is a little ensemble about to join us. Today we are having a performance, firstly I think is a Year 12 trio. Tiana Sheng on piano, Samantha Young on violin, Natalie Douglas on horn, and they will be playing Stars from Les Miserables. And then that will be followed by a Year 6 solo. Sky Hill will be playing Allegro by Mozart. Can we thank the girls and welcome them?
Root Pen girls, Mrs. Jeans Cochran, Mrs. Dixon, Lorraine, and guests. As some of you may have been aware, at the Autumn Fixtures barbecues toward the end of last term, small golden O badges were awarded to certain girls. So the O badges are awarded to the girls who have been selected in and competed for the Opens teams of St Hilda's. With regards to our core school sports, or sports that may not have an Opens team, for example swimming, cross-country athletics, a girl will be awarded with an O badge for these sports if they are selected in and compete for a regional team or above. So the sports prefects for this year wanted to continue our recognition of the girls who excel in sport of the school by awarding them with these badges to wear on their blazers. Unfortunately, there's not enough time to present the girls today, but we will do so in the next few weeks. So, in light of today's Old Girls Assembly, I thought that we should take a trip down memory lane and recognise the evolution of sport that's occurred over the years. So here are some fun facts for your Tuesday afternoon. St Hilda's became part of the QGSSA schools in 1914, participating in all sports except for tennis. The only competitors in the competition were St Margaret's, Brisbane Girls Grammar, Ipswich, Somerville and us. So I believe that St Hilda's rowing began in the 1920s and proved to be an extremely popular sport, with annual and some mid-term regattas being raced alongside Brisbane schools and occasionally TSS. Unfortunately, a decline in the sport's popularity in the late 60s led to the program being discontinued but was later introduced in 1990. The Donkey Club was a very active club in the 1970s here at St Hilda's. Students groomed and rode 2 horses in a donkey paddock in the southwest corner of St Hilda's. Proving a successful sport, the girls who competed won 14 ribbons at various shows across the Gold Coast. Golf was also an extremely popular sport at the school and seems to have only declined in popularity in the past 10 to 20 years or so. In 1973, a group of St Hilda's girls would enjoy a game of golf with the TSS boys on a Friday afternoon. So I think I have some ideas for the next Year 7 social, Maisie. Finally, in 1952, prior to the construction of the school pool, girls were trained for swimming in TSS's strip of Nerang River, and in 1952 in the Burleigh Baths. When the St Hilda's pool was opened in 1954 at a length of 25 metres, it was the largest private swimming pool on the Gold Coast. Another old girl of St Hilda's is Mrs Atkinson, former Lord Mayor of Brisbane. Recently, I read some of Mrs Atkinson's autobiography. In doing so, I came across a section that really stood out to me. Mrs Atkinson mentioned that in her time at St Hilda's, she was not bad at running and swimming, although the saggy cotton knit speedos of the day were the demise of her swimming career. But the ball sports were not her specialty. What I liked most about this was when Mrs Atkinson stated, "I knew I was bad at ball games and I concentrated on what I was good at. Find what you are good at and know what you are not, and understand that not being good at something is not bad at all." In alignment with this, at the beginning of the year, my policy was to give sport a go. You don't need to be the best, but focus on what you are good at or what you need, or what you enjoy, and get involved. I hope that most of you, if not all of you, have tried and succeeded in giving sport a go. And if not, you still have 2 terms to do so. Thank you girls, and keep making the Root Pen proud.
Good afternoon, students, staff and special guests. As you all know, Spirit Week has started off. To kick off our Spirit Week, we did a ham competition down at the netball courts. Today we had the Teachers vs Students touch game during lunch. Congratulations to the teachers who won.
On Wednesday, we will be selling nuggets and chips outside of the hospitality room at lunchtime. Make sure you're getting quick because they will go fast. And plates of chips are $3, 5 nuggets are $3, and 3 nuggets and chips will be $5. On Thursday, as most of us know, is the athletics carnival, so make sure that you bring your best house spirit. And to end Spirit Week on Friday, we will be having a free dress day. The theme is comfort clothing, but remember that normal dress code still applies and no Ugg boots. Keep those scandalous shoulders hidden, and also keep in mind of the cause that we are supporting. You are to bring in a gold coin donation if you want to wear a free dress, and all of the donations will be going towards the Pajama Foundation. The Pajama Foundation was founded in 2004 to give children in foster care the opportunity to change the direction of their lives with learning, life skills and confidence, and they're focused on improving their literacy and numeracy through several programs. So we hope that you are enjoying Spirit Week and you will continue to support us.
for that awkward transition. So, welcome back to the Root Pen girls, Mrs. Jeans Cochran, Mrs. Dixon, Lorraine and guests. As some of you may have been aware, at the Autumn Fixtures barbecues toward the end of last term, small golden O badges were awarded to certain girls. So the O badges are awarded to the girls who have been selected in and competed for the Opens teams of St Hilda's. With regards to our core school sports, or sports that may not have an Opens team, for example swimming, cross-country athletics, a girl will be awarded with an O badge for these sports if they are selected in and compete for a regional team or above. So the sports prefects for this year wanted to continue our recognition of the girls who excel in sport of the school by awarding them with these badges to wear on their blazers. Unfortunately, there's not enough time to present the girls today, but we will do so in the next few weeks. So, in light of today's Old Girls Assembly, I thought that we should take a trip down memory lane and recognise the evolution of sport that's occurred over the years. So here are some fun facts for your Tuesday afternoon. St Hilda's became part of the QGSSA schools in 1914, participating in all sports except for tennis. The only competitors in the competition were St Margaret's, Brisbane Girls Grammar, Ipswich, Somerville and us. So I believe that St Hilda's rowing began in the 1920s and proved to be an extremely popular sport, with annual and some midterm regattas being raced alongside Brisbane schools and occasionally TSS. Unfortunately, a decline in the sport's popularity in the late 60s led to the program being discontinued but was later introduced in 1990. The Donkey Club was a very active club in the 1970s here at St Hilda's. Students groomed and rode 2 horses in a donkey paddock in the southwest corner of St Hilda's. Proving a successful sport, the girls who competed won 14 ribbons at various shows across the Gold Coast. Golf was also an extremely popular sport at the school and seems to have only declined in popularity in the past 10 to 20 years or so. In 1973, a group of St Hilda's girls would enjoy a game of golf with the TSS boys on a Friday afternoon. So I think I have some ideas for the next Year 7 social, Maisie. Finally, in 1952, prior to the construction of the school pool, girls were trained for swimming in TSS's strip of Nerang River, and in 1952 in the Burleigh Baths. When the St Hilda's pool was opened in 1954 at a length of 25 metres, it was the largest private swimming pool on the Gold Coast. Another old girl of St Hilda's is Mrs Atkinson, former Lord Mayor of Brisbane. Recently, I read some of Mrs Atkinson's autobiography. In doing so, I came across a section that really stood out to me. Mrs Atkinson mentioned that in her time at St Hilda's, she was not bad at running and swimming, although the saggy cotton knit speedos of the day were the demise of her swimming career, but the ball sports were not her specialty. What I liked most about this was when Mrs Atkinson stated, "I knew I was bad at ball games and I concentrated on what I was good at. Find what you are good at and know what you are not, and understand that not being good at something is not bad at all." In alignment with this, at the beginning of the year, my policy was to give sport a go. You don't need to be the best, but focus on what you are good at, or what you need, or what you enjoy, and get involved. I hope that most of you, if not all of you, have tried and succeeded in giving sport a go. And if not, you still have 2 terms to do so. Thank you girls, and keep making the Root Pen proud.
Good afternoon, students, staff and special guests. As you all know, Spirit Week has started off. To kick off our Spirit Week, we did a handball competition down at the netball courts. Today we had the Teachers vs Students touch game during lunch. Congratulations to the teachers who won.
nuggets and chips outside of the hospitality rooms at lunchtime. Make sure you're getting quick because they will go fast. And plates of chips are $3, 5 nuggets are $3, and 3 nuggets and chips will be $5. On Thursday, as most of us know, is the athletics carnival, so make sure that you bring your best house spirit.
And to end Spirit Week on Friday, we will be having a free dress day. The theme is comfort clothing, but remember that normal dress code still applies and no Ugg boots. Keep those scandalous shoulders hidden, and also keep in mind of the cause that we are supporting. You are to bring in a gold coin donation if you want to wear a free dress, and all of the donations will be going towards the Pajama Foundation. The Pajama Foundation was founded in 2004 to give children in foster care the opportunity to change the direction of their lives with learning, life skills and confidence, and they're focused on improving their literacy and numeracy through several programs. So we hope that you are enjoying Spirit Week and you will continue to support us.